It's night and day. Me and my dad, yeah, we're just connected and we're present with each other. Uh, we're both engaged in our communities now.
Eric, good morning. How are you?
Good man, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to have you on. Will you tell the audience a little bit about who you are and how did you get introduced to Thumos?
Yeah, my name is Eric Brown. I'm 29 years old. I recently just started a new job as an oceanographer working for the Navy. Um, I play a bunch of instruments. I'm in a couple bands. I play at the local church here, St. Timothy's. Um, Yeah, and I found out about Thumos. I was going through a breakup. I felt like I was lost, and I I kind of lost my identity throughout the whole thing. I was in a tailspin, and Josh Curry, a good friend of mine at the pack, he mentioned that there was a weekend coming up with a bunch of guys who have gone through various things in their life, and I could get some guidance from them. And I kind of just I told him, hey, yeah, I'm down. And my dad, me and my dad are very close. Me and my whole family are very close. Um, I asked my dad about it if he wanted to come and just support me, and he said yeah. So both of us kind of went into it with no expectations. Um, and man, I'm glad I went.
That's awesome. I'm glad you went too. You guys brought so much and hopefully you got a lot out of it. I know you did.
Oh yeah.
Remind me, Eric, did you come on to a member Zoom call first or did you go straight onto a weekend?
No, I just dove straight into a weekend.
What what did you think, man? You showed up on a Friday, a bunch of men, connecting, sitting in a circle. Like what was your first impression?
First impression was, I was probably or my dad was before me in the circle. People were going around kind of telling their stories, and I was like, man, this is really intense. I don't know if I'm going to be able to open up like this. And once it got to my dad, he poured his heart out, and me and him sat in that circle, and we just we poured into each other. We cried. We we connected in a way that we've never connected in our lives, and I'll always treasure that.
That's awesome, Eric. Most men, young or old, will never have the opportunity to sit in a circle like that and embrace their dads, connect with their dads in such a way, such depth. What are your thoughts when you think about, because I know you had a good relationship with your dad coming into the weekend. What about exiting the weekend?
It's night and day. Me and my dad, yeah, we're just connected and we're present with each other. Uh, we're both engaged in our communities now. He was pretty lost too going into the weekend, and he didn't even know it. And it's kind of righted his course, and he's been engaged with the community and people in his life. So it's good to see that, and he's a great role model, and I've kind of incorporated a lot of that into my life.
I appreciated you using the word lost for your dad because what I would want the audience to know is this is a very successful man. This is a man who's very connected and who has accomplished a whole lot in his life. In fact, he's retired Navy. He's an admiral, three-star general, some fantastic stuff. But the word lost, I think it's accurate because like many, Brian had recently retired. And when a man retires, it's this huge transition. These men transition away from passion, purpose, people, and hobbies and honeydews typically only go so far. And so Brian was able to come in like you and find this community, find the tribe, get clarity on purpose and passion and serving people, investing in the community, etc. So I actually like the term. Anything else? I mean, as your weekend unfolded, is it what you expected and what you needed?
Was not what I expected, was what I needed. Um, I was in my heart the whole time doing work internally. Um, I kind of thought going on a weekend retreat is going to be, hanging out with a bunch of guys, having fun. And there were moments of fun, but it's an experience to go and get into your heart and rebuild the things that you may not even realize need rebuilding.
And what were your thoughts when you saw other men getting out of their heads and into their hearts and getting clarity and ahas?
I loved it.
And when you went home back into the real world, did others notice any change in you?
Oh yeah, my family. You get back from that weekend, and my dad and I were buzzing on a wavelength that we're like, oh well, man, we gotta tone it back and kind of reintegrate in a way that's it's not overwhelming for others, but we did it well. And yeah, people notice a difference. I think people still notice a difference because I'm still engaged in the community, in the Thumos community. We do our Thursday morning coffees. We have our Zoom calls. Um, it kind of just recalibrates me if I've been having a bad week. That there are people out there that love me and they got my back.
That's awesome. I think that reintegration is key. I'll never forget my first weekend. And kind of my story is I had a boss that I really admired, friend. I consider him a friend. He asked me not once, not twice, but three times to go do this crazy men's weekend. I wasn't interested. Why do I need a weekend? My money was fine, and I was an avid, self improvement junkie, and read whatever 60 books in a year. Like I was just accomplishing. And I went on this weekend, and it blew me away. The clarity I got, the connection with that came confidence, passion, purpose, mission, vision, raw and real, like I'd never experienced anywhere else before. Like I was on fire and I was going to go get a million men on this crazy weekend. I never did that, but we did some pretty cool stuff and, learned to integrate everything. And what I realized is when I got off that weekend that I needed to sort of come back to reality. How do you integrate all of this? And they actually did at the time, they still do, an integration group. And so we've sort of modeled that. I'm standing on the backs of on the shoulders of great men, and what a blessing it is. And so I'm glad you mentioned our ongoing coffees. That's our face-to-face connection, but also our Zoom calls. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, you and I get a dose of Thumos every single week because kind of the dance for men is we fall asleep and we wake up and we fall asleep and we wake up, but we're trending up. And I love that about us, trending up, being clarity on purpose and passion, waking up and leading and serving our families and our communities better. What would you tell these men who have yet to experience Thumos, a coffee, a Zoom call, a weekend?
I would say that all men need something like this. Whether you're a son, a father, even if you're not, it'll make you more connected with yourself, connected with other like-minded people. Um, it'll make you more present day to day, and you'll just be more of a complete man.
Appreciate that, Eric. And one of the things I want to point out is you're currently single and you're one of our youngest members. What does that look and feel like when you look out and you're seeing all these 40, 50, and even early 60-year olds? What are your thoughts on that?
I see experience. I see, they've lived a lot more life than I have, and wisdom in they just have wisdom. They have wisdom in areas I don't have, and they're they're just wells of knowledge and wells of experience that I can tap into, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, I guess my last question for you, brother. What are you excited about going forward when you think about this tribe, this community, this brotherhood?
Excited about my self improvement. I've been I'm a completely different person than I was before I started. Been trending upward. Um, I'm excited to see where my relationship with my dad goes. It's been it's been unreal since March, and yeah, I'm just excited for that.
Eric, I'm excited too. I'm excited for what you bring and teach us. I'm excited for your openness and what you learn from us. I'm excited about the relationship that you have with your not only your dad but your entire family. It's an ideal almost, not perfect, I know, but it's an ideal, and it's encouraging to all of us. And even for those who don't have those relationships with their dads, just to see you share with us and be sort of an inspiration to a lot of men out there. So I'm grateful for that. I look forward to our future, man.
Yep. I do too.
Eric, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks. No problem.
Have a great day.